Will Jim Gordon's quest for the Clown Prince bring him closure or a new type of damnation? Let's hop into the pages of Joker issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, a mysteriously wealthy young woman had attempted to hire former Gotham Police Commissioner Gordon to hunt down the now fugitive from justice Joker following the A-Day attacks. The big caveat being that once Jimbo manages to hunt down Mr. J, he'll finish the job that Batman never could by killing him, and in exchange he'll be given a healthy salary to make up for the pension that the GCPD never gave him. Admittedly, it's a lot for Gordon to think about, and as this issue begins, his mind actually wanders to the topic of corruption and all the times throughout his career as a cop in arguably the worst city in the world where he was tempted. In fact, in a nice little bit of everything is back in continuity post-Infinite Frontier flourish, Gordon even goes as far as to mention his original Gotham partner, the always crooked Harvey Flass. And while indeed Gordon was only human and there was times in his life when he did think maybe taking a bribe here or looking the other way there could potentially buy his long-suffering family a better life, he ultimately didn't do it because he was a good guy. And it's because he's a good guy Gordon has decided to come clean to Batman about the business proposal that was directed towards him. Granted, he doesn't come 100% clean. He does say some mysterious rich woman with no paper trail did try and hire him, but he leaves out the part about her wanting him to murder the Joker. It's here too where Gordon's detective instincts end up kicking into overdrive. This woman has a lot of money, a lot of resources, was able to find him pretty easily, and all of that points to her probably being not too great herself. She's also somehow managed to leave no paper trail and no footprint, which is naturally wildly suspicious. Gordon asked Batman if he could use the Bat computer to look into this lady further. And while it ultimately takes some cajoling, Batman acquiesces and agrees. In fact, he thinks it's probably a good idea that Gordon do go on a hunt for the Joker. After all, Batman can't do it himself after everything that's going on with Nakano and A-Day and the fact that he's not as rich as he used to be. Someone really should hunt the Joker down, and who better than Jim, right? The only condition that Batman asks for is that Gordon give him a call when he actually does manage to corner the Joker. Batman says to further help in this investigation too, Oracle will actually give Jim a hand, only here's the thing, Gordon is well aware that Oracle is actually his daughter Batgirl. He's known for a while in fact, and slyly says that there's a lot of stuff that he knows that would surprise the hell out of Batman, and agrees to a meeting with Barbara later on to discuss this investigation further. In fact, the good guys actually think they have their first real lead in tracking down the Joker. They think that he's being hidden by a group called the Network, a group of interconnected safe houses started after World War II to hide the Nazis, which over the years developed into hiding mafia dons and eventually hiding supervillains. Now, it's not like the Joker could pay for this very elite service, but he didn't have to. The Network thought that it would be good PR to hide the Joker after such a high-profile crime in Gotham. Naturally, if they can hide you from Batman, surely they can hide you from anyone, right? But as with so many other bad guys before them, these guys didn't really understand who they were getting in bed with when they decided to work with the Joker. He's already murdered a bunch of the neighbors in the surrounding area, and they were mere moments away from chucking him out on his pale clown ass until he started to connect a bunch of dots. You see, Joker's not stupid. He manages to put together that he's actually being framed for the A-Day attacks, and that it's only a matter of time before some begrieved party comes gunning for him, either be it Batman, either be it Gordon, or get this, any of the well-connected and dangerous family members of those who died in Arkham. It's because of that Joker's getting ready for all-out war, taking up a tactical position and swearing that he won't go down easy because, well, he never does. Now back in Gotham, Gordon finally has himself that meeting with Barbara, and I must say they end up having one hell of a conversation. Jim talks about how he just can't let this go, how the Joker represents so much of the worst stuff that's happened in his life and to his family, and that he could really use this money. Barbara actually opens up to him in a pretty big way too, talking about why she decided to step away from life as Batgirl and take up the mantle of Oracle once again in a way that none of the other Bat-centric books have really covered, so it's fun to see it here. Barbara says that if money really is a deciding factor behind taking this potentially deadly gig, that she wants her father to know that she was always going to be willing to take care of him and wasn't going to see him on the street. But that if he really feels that he needs to go through with this to get some sort of closure for years of horror, then she's going to be with him every step of the way. Now, leaving this heartwarming, touching family moment behind for a second, you'll remember I mentioned there were other factions gunning for the Joker. Well, as the comic comes to a close, we get to look at some of those. First up, we got a group from Texas made up of a bunch of old money cannibals who actually had a young son locked up in Arkham during the gas attack. So basically think fancy Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then we get a look over in Santa Prisca, the former home of Bane, where it looks like the same scientists that made him are hard at work making a replacement. They give a young woman the same venom treatment, which ends up making her super strong, and in fact the internet has pretty much already started dubbing her the daughter of Bane. But wait, we're not done yet. We got one last cook in the kitchen. Remember that mysterious rich woman, how well connected she was and why she was able to move so well throughout Gotham City? Well, it turns out that's because she's actually part of a family that was excommunicated from the Court of Owls. And killing the Joker and bringing honor back to the court is her ticket back into high society. And it's on that note there the comic actually does come to a close. And so that was Joker issue number 2, everybody. And once again, James Tynion reminds us that some of the best moments in some of the best Batman stories don't actually involve Batman at all, do they? It's so awesome to have a story focused on Gordon. He's a character with so much great history and pathos and connections to all these other characters, and he really lays his soul on the line here in this story. I love the interconnectedness that this story really uses the A-Day and Infinite Frontier events as a jumping off point to tell a story that's so much smaller and so much more personal. I'm getting a wonderful kind of film noirness from this story that I'm not getting from anything else on the shelf right now, and for all those reasons and more, I give this one a very positive 8.5 out of 10. I cannot wait to see what happens next. Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.